Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes React. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm Office Bloke Debbie.
Office Bloke Debbie. Do you do Dallas by any chance?
Beg your pardon?
I don't know. Was that a dirty movie?
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Like 70s dirty though, like
No,
Diary of a Window Cleaner sort
No,
of.
it was a queue. For the most people in a... not that I've seen it or anything, Mike told me.
It's not the one where...
I borrowed it on Betamax off Mike.
Right. Laserdisc.
Not Laserdisc, that was way after.
So was it where there was loads of guys queuing up and
Yeah.
there was... Dallas was the girl and she was just...
No, Debbie was the girl.
Debbie, sorry.
I'm assuming it's in Dallas.
And it was in
wasn't
Dallas.
Yeah.
And they were in Debbie as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, I get you. So that went off on a tangent. Dallas, insane city of the future in 2050. I've never been. You've been to Dallas,
I
haven't
have. Drove through it. Never really sort of like stayed or lived there or anything. But yeah, it's a Texas city.
you? It's
Yeah.
very wealthy in it because of
Yeah.
oil money and
There's
stuff like
oil
that.
money there, yeah.
Yeah. So it's already quite, it's a massive, well-funded city.
Yeah.
Good
I don't know.
infrastructure.
I don't really know the politics of it all. Of what what kind of infrastructure they've got as far as finances go.
Yeah.
But it's a modern city. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. It's always been one of the most well-known, I suppose, because of the program, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And the
And the Cowboys.
80s. Yeah.
And
The Cowboys, yeah, of course. Yeah. Huge team.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out. I presume
Yeah.
this is going to be how much investment and how they're going to pioneer certain things. And
Yeah.
Yeah, could be
Things like
interesting in this, yeah.
Well, you got. If you look at Manchester, what we're trying to do is we're trying to become the tech capital of Europe in Manchester.
Right.
Yeah.
So we've built all these new sort of like office sort of like complexes, which is going to be all housed for all the tech companies.
Yeah.
And all the tech companies are coming in. They're getting some kind of like what's the word?
Subsidies.
Subsidies and
Subsidy
funding
or
and
getting
stuff like
funding.
that.
They're also getting incentives.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
the town as well, sort of things. A brand new building,
Which is a great way to do it.
Very futuristic, so it's attracting a lot of people. You
Yeah.
look at Manchester now. You drive through Manchester and see the difference. And you see cranes everywhere.
Yeah.
The tower blocks going up. You think, fucking hell, there was nothing there 2 weeks ago, and now there's like half a tower
Yeah,
block going
all
up.
the time
It's
they're
gonna be,
building, aren't
50
they?
stories or whatever.
Yeah.
It's the most regenerated city on the planet, Manchester.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah. So we knock down relatively new buildings to build newer buildings.
Yeah.
That's what they mean by it.
Skyline's changing all the time now, isn't it?
It was the
Really
fastest growing city in Europe at one point.
Yeah.
I don't know if it still is, but it was just a couple of years ago.
Nice. Well,
So
yeah,
I'm
let's,
thinking something along them lines. That's what I'm thinking.
let's
Right,
watch
okay.
Manchester Insane City. Oh, Dallas. Sorry, Dallas. Insane City of the Future 2050. Let's do it.
Who will stop Dallas's growth to become the heart of the American nation? Certainly no one. No city even. Dallas is on a mission to become the best city in the US, and there are no doubts about the fact that it will achieve this by 2050. Join us in this video as we explore the Dallas Insane City of the Future. The Dallas-Fort Worth metropolitan region is a prime example of contemporary American urbanization, and is situated on the southern plains, distant from the country's coastlines and major river systems. According to updated data from the 2020 census, DFW's population has increased by around 1.3 million over the previous 10 years to just under 7.7 million. Making it the fourth largest metro city in the country. The Metroplex owes its enormous expansion to railways, interstate highways and airports, as well as unprecedented levels of economic freedom and affordability, rather than to natural advantages. In an ancient Texas adage, a braggart is said to be someone who is all hat and no cattle. But you can't say that about Big D, which is quickly becoming the American heartland's de facto capital. For a better understanding, let's go back a few years. 40 years ago, the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex had fewer than 5 Fortune 500 business headquarters. Now it is home to 24, second only to New York and Chicago. The economy of DFW has expanded noticeably more quickly than that of its three main competitors, New York, Los Angeles and Chicago, and it has seen less job loss during the COVID-19 epidemic than any other of the nation's 12 biggest metro areas. The nation's 50 biggest metros' average rates of population growth have increased roughly 3 times as quickly. Net domestic migration has contributed significantly to this growth. DFW is one of the top 20 of such areas in the US, with the 4th highest rate of net income migration, including millennials, and a sharp increase in the number of foreign-born residents. Demographers predict that DFW will overtake Chicago to become the third largest metro region in America when its population reaches 10 million somewhere in the 2030s.
Wow. It's bigger than I thought.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like 7 million at the moment, the fourth
That's
largest.
it's the metro area.
Yeah.
So you've got the whole Dallas-Fort Worth
Yeah.
metropolitan area.
Right, okay.
But what you've got, in my opinion, what you've got, sort of like compared to New York and Chicago, the weather's not as harsh in Dallas.
No.
So it might take a little bit more sort of like
Yeah.
in Chicago and New York, you've got very cold winters, and very hot
Yeah.
summers. Whereas in Dallas, you've pretty much got the hot summer, and then it's the temperature drops to
Just a bit milder, but
yeah.
You know what
Right,
else? They don't have state taxes in Texas, do they?
Can't remember. I'll pay tax anyway. I'm kidding.
Allegedly.
Tax.
No, because that was one of the theories about Joe Rogan moving there, because he was paying something in California, something like an extra 10 or 20% state
Right.
tax on his earnings.
yeah.
And when he signed that Spotify deal for 100 million or whatever it was, he essentially moved to Austin, Texas for
Right.
free, because the money he would have spent on state tax in
Yeah,
California,
saved it.
he could spend 10 million on a house in Austin.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think there's a lot of incentive for certain states to do things like
Yeah.
that, to get tech companies in and businesses in.
Could be, but I think
Yeah.
also Dallas is a big hub as well for United, for the airlines.
Yeah.
Right,
Sort of thing. So,
right.
so that was like a major hub. So it was the growth what you've got there, and I think when you look at New York and Chicago as well, this is only my opinion, is they already seem full, if that makes sense. Whereas Dallas ain't full yet,
Yeah.
so there's more
Right.
options to go there. Bigger, it's a big metropolitan area,
Yeah, so bigger.
probably cheaper.
Yeah, cheap. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it
Cheaper
will
to
be,
go.
won't it?
And plus you've got you've got the network of the airlines and whatever you need
Yeah.
to sort of like get around.
So it means a bigger scope to sort of like expand, sort of like physically, because of the
Yeah.
actual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you've got New York or Chicago, it's
There's nowhere to
crowded.
go.
That's
is
it.
there?
It looks,
Go.
it
It's
looks you
crowded.
feel like it's sort of like all hemmed in a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, I
So-
might be wrong with that, but that's the way opinion.
Yeah.
I've been to all three cities.
Yeah.
So to me, when you go to Chicago, it seems real busy. When you go to New York, fucking super busy.
Yeah.
When you go to Dallas, not as busy.
Right.
Still busy,
Yeah.
but not overcrowded.
Yeah.
Seems a
Yeah.
bit more spread out.
You think
Yeah.
how vast Texas is, and I'm sure
Yeah,
within an
huge.
hour of Dallas, there's loads of land that's
yeah.
available
Yeah.
for development.
yeah, I
you
guess,
know,
yeah,
if
good
they
point.
needed new airport infrastructure or
Well, they haven't. They
Yeah.
got Dallas Fort Worth, and it's
No,
it's
but
great
That's a
Right.
huge
airport.
airport, isn't it?
they're always mooting like extra runways in this country and
Yeah.
stuff. I'm saying if it got too big,
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah,
there's
yeah.
cheaper land there
Oh,
than
yeah.
there would be in New York or anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting one.
It is.
Enhancing the brand. Dallas has become a regional financial hub as a result of the Texas oil boom in the early 20th century. The state's economy was still based on resource extraction, a sector that was dominated by the large eastern cities. Texas remained New York's most valuable foreign asset, according to Governor and Dallas native Pappy O'Daniel. However, the commercial leaders of the nascent metropolis had ambitious aspirations and a knack for self-promotion, even as they bowed to the east. Dallas is what it is because the men of Dallas darn well designed it that way. According to Fortune's observation in 1949, Dallas doesn't owe anything to chance, nature or destiny. The Dallas Citizens Council, a business organisation that Darwin Payne, a historian, has referred to as the logical oligarchy, began to transform the city in the 1930s. They did this by constructing parks and cultural institutions, supporting the expansion of Southern Methodist University, and establishing yearly tourist attractions, particularly the State Fair of Texas and the Cotton Bowl College Football Championship. Their efforts were fruitful. In a 1946 feature, New York travel writer John Gunther disparaged Houston as impolite and materialistic, but commended Dallas as a wonderfully cultured, small metropolis with upscale accommodations, dining options, and department shops. He further nicknamed Dallas downtown a mini Manhattan. Due to its unusual policy orientation, growth-friendly, with less onerous corporate regulation and higher taxation than long-established urban centres in the Northeast, the Midwest or California, Dallas is now economically separating itself from the country's long-established urban centres. These variables have enabled the area to significantly outperform the main metro areas in the Northeast, Midwest and West Coast in terms of living expenses and business expenses. Texas's cost of living on average is around 6% lower than the national average, whereas California's is on average about 40% higher. In
Wow,
late 2020,
wow,
the typical
huge.
home price in DFW was 4.3 times the median family income, compared to an average of 5.6 times in the 20 biggest metro areas in the US, and up to 9 times in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Silicon Valley. A magnet for magnates. Businesses are drawn to DFW by its favourable location and low costs. Texas Instruments, American Airlines, Southwest Airlines, Kimberly-Clark and D.R. Horton already have their corporate headquarters in DFW. And in recent years, prestigious firms like California-based Jacobs Engineering, Fluor, Toyota Motor North America, McKesson, Tenet Healthcare, CBRE, and Charles Schwab have all established their North American headquarters there. DFW has grown to become the third largest financial hub in the country. The area's scattered financial institutions may not have the same appearance as those found in Manhattan, but they are still expanding. In 2007, Comerica relocated its corporate headquarters from Detroit to Dallas, while more recently Charles Schwab and First Foundation have moved from California. In recent years, the northern suburbs of Dallas have also seen the opening of sizable State Farm and Liberty Mutual operations. Even NASDAQ is apparently thinking about moving from the New York region to Dallas. The DF...
Do you think it's because obviously the growth of Dallas is going to be potentially to the detriment of other major
It will be, yeah.
places?
Possibly, yeah.
Do you think places like New York's always going to be New York, from what I gather,
Yeah.
from people who've been and lived there?
But
and
when you
stuff?
look at some of these companies who've got corporate headquarters, like Charles Schwab or State Farm, Liberty Mutual, people like they employ hundreds of thousands of people,
Yeah,
or thousands of people in, in one particular area.
Yeah.
So if you've got their New York headquarters or Detroit headquarters, whatever, they're moving people from Detroit, and then people won't all want to relocate. So you've got the option to relocate. They'll probably give them a
Yeah.
relocation package.
Yeah.
They might have a better life moving to somewhere like Dallas.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure people who work for, Charles Schwab and Liberty Mutual, people are decent earners. I don't think they're on minimum. Well, I'm sure there will be people on minimum wage in the
Yeah.
building.
not the ones that
But
are
ones
relocating. though.
correct, yeah.
Yeah,
But it could change their life as well, moving to a less expensive area, especially moving from California, say from Los Angeles or Silicon Valley.
Yeah, of
moving
course.
into somewhere like Dallas might be a little bit more financially
Absolutely.
able for them. to
Cheaper
start,
cost
yeah.
of living, cheaper housing, obviously the wages will probably be on a par with what they were
Yeah.
on anyway, at
Yeah.
least, if not more, if they're
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah.
So it could make them more financially stable and, better well off.
I don't know when this video was made, if it's new or not, but I know that certain states were a lot more relaxed when it came to COVID restrictions as well.
Yeah.
So like California
Some were, weren't they,
was
I think, yeah.
full lockdown.
Yeah.
It was quite tough in a lot of places. I think places like Florida, Texas were a lot more relaxed.
A bit more lenient.
Yeah, there was still
Yeah.
businesses open. There wasn't as much mask wearing and things like that.
I've worked for companies before where we've moved our global headquarters from sort of like one country to another, and it makes a massive difference to staff well-being.
Yeah, I'm
So I
sure,
think,
yeah.
people, especially if you're moving from a country that's sort of from an area that's hustle and bustle, and it's really busy, and you're living at your apartment, living in tiny little apartment that's got like 2 kids and a wife, and then you move to somewhere like Dallas where you can get a 4-bed detached
detached
with
house.
gardens and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and then your kids are playing out in nicer weather,
Yeah, huge
It's,
difference.
it's
isn't it?
urban living to suburban living, and it could be more enticing.
Yeah,
So the
it
incentives
is.
for people to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're the incentives I was talking about before.
Yeah.
FW metro area, along with the other sizable metro areas of the thriving Texas Triangle region, Houston, San Antonio and Austin, are being transformed by recent changes in domestic migration patterns. More than any other US metro, DFW had net inward migration of more than 500,000 from elsewhere in the country between 2010 and 2020. And inflows of young families have given DFW a younger population than others. Dallas-Fort Worth is becoming increasingly diversified due to migration as well. In most other US metros, black and Hispanic inhabitants have lower incomes, lower home ownership rates and worse living standards than in Dallas-Fort Worth, according to a report by the Urban Reform Institute, and they've shown their discontent by moving away. Black and Hispanic populations have been moving away from the northern and western cities and moving in huge numbers to Sunbelt metros like Dallas-Fort Worth during the last 10 years. Growing up in the border community of McAllen, Texas, Mary Ann Pia Fordsham moved to Dallas as a young adult, created career
Been to McAllen.
Have you?
Have you? Yeah.
It borders Mexico, so the border town of Mexico.
Right.
I don't know if it's the same
okay.
one as talking to me, but I'm pretty sure it was McAllen, Texas, where we went to, where it borders Mexico, and it was one of these great little American Roadhouse type restaurant bars where you
Yeah.
throw the peanuts,
Oh, right.
they give you the peanuts, and all the shells are on the floor and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Nice.
pretty sure that was
Ah.
McAllen.
Nice.
Career Management Partners, a company that specialises in minority hiring and job placement, and expanded it into a $5 million corporation with 56 people. She believes that immigration has caused Texas to change rapidly. Large satellites in the suburbs. North of Dallas, in the counties of Collin and Denton, is where the North Texas
Denton.
economic boom is concentrated. About 3/4 of the metro's population increase during the previous 10 years was accounted for by suburban towns beyond the region's two major cities. With a combined population of 2 million, Collin and Denton counties are home to more people than all but 4 American cities. Plano, McKinley, Frisco, Denton, and Allen are the 5 biggest suburban communities in these counties, and their combined population currently outnumbers that of San Francisco. Between 2000 and 2019, the population of these cities almost doubled. These suburban areas have succeeded in developing infrastructure ahead of surging population expansion and creating plug-and-play chances for relocating businesses, according to Fred Pearpall, CEO of Beck Construction and past board chair of the Dallas Citizens Council. They are also far more affordable than Dallas's central business district and provide excellent public schools, low crime rates, and both. As a result, North Texas is seeing not just the largest rate of population growth, but also a disproportionate number of corporate relocations, including those of Toyota and Liberty Mutual, as well as business expansions from Peloton Interactive, Qualtrics, and Aimbridge Hospitality. The northern suburbs dominate employment in DFW's technology, telecommunications, and back-office processing businesses, forming an ever more autonomous economic structure. Jobs are expanding faster than population in Collin and Denton counties' major cities, where the number of people working during the day is nearly equal to the number of people working during the night. From downtown Fort Worth, the other development corridor in the area extends to the north and west. Dallas has long cast a shadow over Fort Worth, but in the past 25 years, the Fort Worth side of the metro region has seen tremendous development, transforming into a broad dynamic economy with a wide range of industrial and service sector companies. From 46% of Dallas's population in 1970 to 67% now, Fort Worth has seen population growth. Alliance Airport, established by Ross Perot Jr. as the country's first exclusively cargo airport, has solidified the region's status as a major logistics hub and stimulated development on the city's northern outskirts. JP Morgan Private Bank's manager, director for the central area, Elaine Agatha, claims that Fort Worth is transitioning from its Western rodeo swagger to economic boom swagger. Contrasting opportunities. Despite its considerable success, DFW is still working to bolster the economy in its vast hinterland, particularly in southern Dallas and southeast Fort Worth. Despite making up 60% of Dallas's landmass, defined as the region south of Interstate 30, only 10% of the city's assessed property value is located here. Dallas Citizens Council CEO Kelvin Walker describes southern Dallas as a big gaping economic hole, and the giant elephant in the room by many Dallas residents as the region's economic energy shifts north and west. The difficulties in southern Dallas are partially a result of past segregation. In 1916, Dallas became the first city in Texas to pass an ordinance requiring housing segregation. Between the 1930s and 1960s, Dallas and its suburbs actively engaged in federal government-led schemes designed to encourage racial segregation and concentrate investment in white regions. In the 1950s and 1960s, Dallas also participated in urban renewal projects that resulted in the physical destruction of many black neighborhoods, including the construction of interstate highway connectors through black neighborhoods like Deep Ellum and Stringtown, and the seizure of black homes to make room for the State Fair of Texas's 3-week-long parking lot. These are being corrected now. Despite these difficulties, DFW seems to be positioned for future development. Compared to Houston and the majority of other major cities, its economy is considerably more diverse. The DFW economy, for instance, was only marginally reliant on the energy industry and was able to withstand the consequences of falling oil and gas prices in 2014 to 15 and once again in 2019 to 20. By 2050, it is anticipated that the population of Collin and Denton areas will have more than doubled, while counties even farther north near the Oklahoma border are expected to see significant increase. Dallas is a city in development. It hasn't reached its full potential just yet. By 2050, the city is expected to become America's most economically and demographically vibrant metro area and will continue to play a significant role in determining the urban landscape of the country. Just in case you haven't, keep an eye on Big D in modern day America. Do you like what you just watched? Then give us a big thumbs up and ring the bell to join.
Interesting one, that.
Yeah.
It's interesting because it's sort of like something I was interested in right at the very end, where he talks about spreading into other like Oklahoma City, places like that, where once you've got that massive metropolis, all of a sudden that becomes very expensive, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then so what they do is the people move a bit further outfield and commute, sort of thing. So if you can put a rail network in there as well, some sort of rail network that's suitable for the commuter to come in. I'm sure the highways and all that are pretty well done, well designed.
Yeah, they always are, aren't they? I mean, I always wondered what it was like. I mean, like planning permission, stuff like that over there. Because I know down here, once you start to get onto Greenbelt, you just can't build anywhere, can you? You can't build, you can only expand.
They've got so much land in Texas.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm just wondering whether it's a bit looser there, where you get to the edge of a metropolis area, where there's countryside or whatever, and they say, well, just carry on going. Yeah. Or if there's big rules there, be interesting to find out.
I don't think the rules over there are as strict as
No.
they are
No,
over here.
I would guess because they've got
we
so
don't have as
more
much land
space.
too,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
we've got to protect anywhere that's got a bit of forest in an urban area and things like that. But there, it's so vast that I can imagine maybe it's surrounded by farms and they can just buy up farms and just sort of build a state.
So, yeah.
Interesting now that Dallas is moving that way forward. Like
It
that.
is really,
Yeah.
I don't really know. I've not paid much attention to it.
Yeah.
But from what I remember, I think I flew into Dallas Fort Worth, and then hired a car and drove out somewhere. I think it was to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Or somewhere like that. And I think when I went through Fort Worth, I think I remember it being a right shithole.
All right.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sure
Might be
not.
right.
I'm sure not every bit of it is nice. It's
Yeah.
probably got its rough areas. And
Yeah, most places.
every major city does.
Yeah, I think it was Fort
Yeah, of
Worth,
course.
the area of Fort Worth, I think.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
I'm just going off memory. This is like, 20 years ago, whatever it was.
Yeah,
Sort of
right,
thing.
okay.
Just try to remember.
Yeah.
So,
But it's an interesting video, that.
I'd like to spend some time in Texas. I mean, I need to spend more time in the States anyway, but Texas does appeal to me quite a lot.
yeah, but whenever you see a different state, they've all got their little iconic little bits that that attract you to that state.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just
I bet,
a lot of the stuff I watch on, say, Netflix and stuff is about food and it's about barbecue and stuff like that. And that's why Texas seems to come up all the time.
That'll be your US tour, will it? Good for all the food. And
I'm always watching people just eat the most amazing barbecue in the world, sat there with beans on toast.
Do it.
Yeah.
I will at some point.
Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed that too. Don't forget, like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers, guys.